Hello, aloha everyone. It has been a minute since I've been on live, and I'm really excited to be back and talk to you guys about this mysterious topic about sales popping up out of nowhere whenever clients go to spa or go camping. And to those of you that are new to me, my name is Marina, and I'm an intuitive business strategist. I help you come up with intuitively channeled custom solutions by channeling your specific way that you market and sell the best. So, to those of you that are new to me, please say hi. I'm going to be talking about this mystery topic of sales appearing out of nowhere. And no, it doesn't just have to do with energetic alignment. There's more that goes into it, and that's what I'm going to be talking to you guys about today. So I'm really excited. Like I said, I haven't been on here in a while. Please say hi whenever you pop in. I'm going to share this to my group because, well, I haven't been live in there in a while too. Just a second. Whoever is on, say hey. I can't see who it is, but mystery topic about mystery sales popping up out of nowhere whenever people go to spas or clean their house, and all of a sudden, poof, they get payments, or they go camping and then all of a sudden they get full pay sales. What the hell is up with that? That's what I'm going to be talking to you guys about. So if you're interested, stick around. Please say hi. Introduce yourselves. I can't see who you are, and I don't like just talking to myself. If you have any questions in advance, feel free to post them. Like I said, mystery sales that pop up seemingly out of nowhere, and this kind of mysterious thing that a lot of spiritual coaches teach of energetic alignment and woohoo, and you go to the spa and all of a sudden sales pop in out of nowhere. You clean your house and then boom, all of a sudden you get payments. What is up with that? What is up with that? So, without further ado, yet again, my name is Marina. To those of you that are new to me, I'm an intuitive business strategist, and I help you come up with custom business approaches to sales and marketing that are not just going to be another system. And that is the biggest problem within the industry, is a lot of people just get systems, including spiritual systems, right? Of like, oh, you need to align your energy and all of a sudden you're going to have sales and blah, blah, blah. And even still, it's not necessarily custom tailored to the individual that they're working with or their energy whatsoever. And this is not, you guys, just about energy of these kinds of magical manifestations happening out of nowhere. So, to begin with, I had a few clients that have experienced this. I had a client who has experienced a $4,000 sale come in while she was at the spa. I had another client who had experienced a painful $1,500 sale come in when she went camping. I had another client recently, actually yesterday, after investing literally $100,000 in coaches, healers, and mentors to get her business off the ground. She has not had too much of an ROI. She had made money here and there, but it was never consistent, and it was all just going back into business, and she was not able to keep any of it. So we're like, what the hell is going on? What is actually going to crack the code? And for her, she had a sale come in after she cleaned her house, but there was a lot more that had to happen before that happened. Okay, so yet again, to those of you that are watching, and if you guys have any questions about what the heck this is about and who is this is for you if you are in business as a service-based entrepreneur, if you're a coach, healer, if you are an energetic practitioner, if you're a graphic designer, a website designer, if you have, I also worked with loan officers, real estate agents. This is for you if you are in direct relation with people, creating sales that are service-based, and you're working with people in a one-on-one basis or in a group setting, providing some sort of a service or a transformation. So this is for you. Also, if you're either in the beginning, sorry, I'm getting texted. If you're either in the beginning stages of your business and you have tried system after system, strategy after strategy, and you're still like, what the fuck, why is nothing working? If you have invested thousands of dollars into coaches and mentors and have tried this strategy and it hasn't worked for you, if you have also invested in spiritual modalities and align your energy daily and it still is not working for you as to why you're not getting sales, then definitely you want to stay on this live stream. This is not, for who this is not. This is not for individuals who believe that you can meditate your way into creating these sales and then they magically appear without any kind of action or uncomfortable action on your part. This is also for individuals who refuse to be or take uncomfortable actions in their business. This is for individuals who refuse to, this is not for individuals who don't want to grow. Okay? This is also not for individuals if you're not resourceful, if you're not creative, and if you are in an energy of blaming the industry or blaming your coach or blaming your past coach or blaming whatever else, then this is definitely not for you. But if it, hey Zishan, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. It's nice to meet you and see you, and you finally get to see me live. I haven't been on in a minute. So yet again, today I'm going to talk to you all about these mystery sales that are seemingly mystery and how they come up out of nowhere. Like I said, $1,500 full pays while camping, going to the spa and receiving a $4,000 check out of nowhere, or cleaning the house and cleaning up the energy or whatever, and then all of a sudden getting a $2,500 pay. And how did we get my clients there? Because this is not what you think it is. A lot of people, when they first come to me, they have worked with a lot of different type of mentors. And most people, like myself, I'll tell you a little bit of my story first. I have gone through the strategic school of learning every single possible social media strategy that exists, whether it be how to do a Pinterest, that works, Pinterest and Instagram campaigns, hashtag, Facebook live streams, creating the know, like, and trust factor, right? LinkedIn, networking, etc. I have gone through a lot of different classes that have taught me a lot of strategies. However, whenever you are given a strategy and a system, what happens, it's like you're building a house and you want to interiorly decorate it right away without having the proper foundation in place, right? So then I was like, oh man, what is that inner foundation? What does that even mean? So for me personally, I have gone through super spiritual schools of thought of how to develop your business purely based on intuition. And well, that didn't work either. I have created here and there manifestations, but they were not consistent. I had no idea how to recreate them again. I had no idea how to create that inner sense of trust. And I had no idea how to create these sales out of nowhere. What really worked, and this is exactly what I do with my clients, is combining the two. Is combining that inner source foundation. Is combining this, the study of being who it is that they are and being so freaking grounded in that and so assured that you could place any bet on yourself and you know you're going to win. Meaning, if I was to come up to you and be like, yo, I need 20 grand by tomorrow, are you willing to do it? And you'll be like, yes, and you'll make it happen. That is the kind of trust that is required for individuals to hold 5 or 6 figure incomes in service-based industries, especially when you're in business for yourself, in industries like real estate, in industries like coaching, etc. Right? I'm seeing laughy faces, whoever is laughing. Hi, Yulia, nice to meet you. I just met you, and this is crazy, but here we are live, so call me maybe. So anyway, having said that, this is the kind of trust that I work on developing with my clients. I'll share my story, and then I will go into their specific cases. There was a case that I had in the fall where I had owed my mentor $3,500 and my bank accounts were overdrawn. I had rent due. I was like, where the hell am I going to get my groceries? I don't know how the hell I'm going to pay my bills, but this payment is due. Like, what do I do? So I got really creative. I got really resourceful. And of course, I have my personal, energetic, and spiritual practices that I do daily. And it was starting to get to Wednesday, and things were starting to get slim. The chances of it happening were like slim to none. I was like, yeah, okay, well, whatever. So what had happened prior to Wednesday, I got super resourceful, right? So not only had I believed and envisioned and imagined, like, this is a non-negotiable, this payment is gonna fucking happen, and I'm gonna make it happen no matter what. And good, I'm glad you're having fun with it. And I'm also going to get resourceful, and I'm going to meet this kind of energetic alignment of this is happening with my action of not taking no for an answer. So what did I do? I had volunteered myself to go paint like a house with my boyfriend because he's a contractor. I had asked my landlord Yeah, I asked my landlord to see if he could lend me some money up until I could make it back, because I knew I was going to make it back. It was just a matter of meeting the deadline to stay in integrity with my mentor. Um, I had, of course, like I said, meditated and did my manifestation practices. It was coming to be Wednesday, and I was like, I don't know if this is happening. I stayed consistent in that kind of belief of like, I know I'm going to make it happen. So what else can I do? What else can I do? You see, what has happened is the fear just doesn't even come in at that point. It's more along the lines of it's just action only at that point in time. It's action only. So I got super creative. I went on Instagram. I went on Craigslist. I remember, I think, selling massages or something like that. I forget what else I did, but I literally was just like, okay, this next, okay, this next, okay, this next. Like any idea that had come to me, poof, all right, next. So then I had the intuitive hit to go drive an hour away to go get my favorite latte on Maui. At the point I was living on Maui, to go get my favorite latte. And I'm like, what? I got work to do. I have to make $3,500 for my mentor. I got time for this shit. What the hell? Like, I got this like intuitive hit and I was frustrated with it. I was like, what? This is going to take at least 2 hours out of my day just to get there and back. No. It got stronger and stronger like a nagging child. And I was like, if I leave now, I will make it to the coffee shop 10 minutes before they close. And I was like, all right, let's send it. Cool. And what had happened in that moment is I was like, I trusted myself enough that I knew I was still going to make it happen no matter what, that I deserve as well. Like, I trust myself enough and I deserve to go give myself the things that I want, which is a freaking latte at my favorite coffee shop. So, okay, cool. I get in the car, I drove, I got my latte, and when I got home, I had 2 sales call booked, and on Thursday, I had a $12,000 day. That was my record so far, and some people, like I could advertise it being, I went and got my favorite latte, and I had a $12,000 day, and this is how most people advertise, right? Of like, oh, full pays while at the spa. What has had to happen? Let's reverse engineer this. What has had to happen for that actually to occur? There had to be a very intense, like unfuckwithable sense of trust that this is happening no matter what, and I'm gonna make it happen because that's what it is and that's how it's gonna go, and this is not negotiable, and I'm gonna make it happen, and poof, right? Not just like that. Of course, also, not only had I had to have the belief, not only had I had to have the energy or whatever, because energy is all of the above combined, but I also had to back it with my thoughts, with my creative brain of like, what else can I do? Who else can I ask to make sure it happens? But I also, in addition, had to back it by action. So I got resourceful, right? At that point in time, what had also happened, this immense sense of trust, was the coalescence of all of the elements that create these kinds of full pays, that create $12,000 days when it like seemed slim, right? This is what essentially had to happen, is all of these elements of my thoughts, my actions, my beliefs, and my ability to trust myself enough that no matter what is going to happen, even if there's like an earthquake around and all of a sudden America decides to change currency from dollars to yen or whatever, like I'm still gonna pay it. You know what I mean? Like that is the kind of conviction of placing this kind of bet on yourself is what it takes. So how does this happen with my clients and how do I help them achieve this? Because with every manifestation, I put it in quotes because there is a sense of frustration that I have as far as how people view it, that they feel like they can just like align themselves into Yoda world and then all of a sudden amazing shit's gonna happen, and it's not quite how it works, right? Which is why, like I said, there's a sense of like frustration on my end. So what exactly do I do with my clients to help them create that? Because no manifestations are alike, right? And if you were to right now be like, oh, so Marina had a $12,000 day by going and getting a latte that was an hour away from home, I'm going to go do the same, and all of a sudden that's how I'm going to get my $12,000 day, right? No. So this is where the reverse engineering starts with my clients. Pardon me just a second. I'm going to go through this client by client. The client that went camping, the one that had the $1,500 full pay come in, she had already had a sales call with this woman. And what has happened, like, she is in a position where her business is already set up. She already has clarity about what she does for who, etc. Sales calls are not super new for her, but she was struggling with consistency. And one of the deepest aspects of my work that we do is creating this kind of self-betting, this self-trust, if you will, through a lot of inner work, but also through a lot of outer work of showing you evidence of how or why you're fucking amazing, and how or why, of course, this is going to happen for you, or how or why this person is, of course, going to pay. Because what the missing element in a lot of spiritual communities is, like, people kind of bastardize the logical brain. Like, oh, nothing good comes from it. Your logical brain is just going to keep you constricted and it has limited thoughts, whatever. No, your logical brain is absolutely brilliant. It's what's allowing me to create this live stream and talk to you guys right now and show you the process by how this has happened to recreate that for my clients. If it wasn't for my logical brain, would I be able to do that? No. If it wasn't for my intuitive brain, would I be able to do that? No. So what happens here? You need to make friends with the both of them without polarity. And that is the biggest aspect of a lot of coaching programs that is missing. It's either one or the other, and they say, no, you got to work on your energy only, no, you got to work on a better strategy, and it's just like this giant cockfight, right, between the two. And what it is taking the whole person and seeing how is it that they specifically sell in market. What about them creates what I call their natural sales prowess. And this is also the biggest aspect of my programs, is finding that. Is finding the sales prowess. So let's go ahead and go back to the client who went camping. So she, kind of like me, she's a very adventurous individual who loves the outdoors. She wants to travel. She loves camping. She loves the outdoor activities. But of course, a lot of her marketing and a lot of her sales was hiding behind the computer screen and just taking selfies, because perhaps that's a strategy that she has learned, and she's like, oh, I'm going to try that. And maybe it has worked for her once because she has plugged into somebody's energy, but has not been able to recreate that. So what is it that we did instead? First of all, we unraveled her fear, because at that point in time, she had an option to sit in front of the computer and to figure out her accounting, or answer this nagging desire to go camping. This nagging, almost childlike desire. Hey, you need to go camping. And in the moment that she decided to go camping, what has actually happened? If you take the moment like fully apart and extrapolate it, literally step by step by step, what has actually happened in order for this full pay to come in? There needed to be a really, really deep sense of trust that, hey, like, I know that I'm going to make money and I don't need to sit in front of the computer screen. And I also deserve to give myself the things that I want, because I trust myself so much and I'm willing to bet on myself anything, no matter what, to right now choose myself above all else to go camping, right? Is this making sense to those of you that are watching? Because the other aspect, like, this could or could not have happened if she hadn't come to this embodied sense of trust. Is this making sense? Feel free to ask me questions. I'm going to go on to the next client. It was the same thing that has happened to me with my $12,000 day, right? Of what was it that has created that? And one of my favorite places to work, and one of my favorite places to create marketing posts from, one of my favorite places to take sales calls from, actually happened to be that coffee shop that I went to that was nagging on my everything. And to also, here's the other aspect of what has happened in those moments. Sorry, I just got something. So yes, excellent, yes. I don't know what you're saying yes to, but yes is great. So amazing, yes. So what also happens in that moment? Yes, another yes, amazing, perfect. What also happened in that moment like I said, the state of deservingness energetically too. To those of you that don't know my work or don't know how I lead with what I lead, is I do indeed channel this sales prowess of an individual. I do indeed channel the deep desires that's going to like unfuck that energy and unlock it in order for them to become magnetic. Because what happens in that moment for my client who went camping, there was an opportunity to surrender to fear or love. And what also happens in that moment energetically, if you can envision a fracked bubble of energy that includes in it trust, self-love, infinite possibilities, let's frack that bitch open. Cool, I'm gonna go camping and see what else is there for me outside of the computer screen. Is this making sense? So that's the other thing that happens in the moment of deep self-trust and deservingness. And literally, you guys, campaign point. I'm not sure what that means, Ishan. Can you elaborate on that? So in that point in time, whenever, like the other thing too, energetically, the way it looks, is you literally have to be there for no more than a moment in time. But it has to be so fully embodied. So let's talk about the next client, the next sale up, which was $2,500 that she had received recently. And she is, oh my God, she's absolutely brilliant. To those of you that are new to my page, I just wrote about her. Her name is Saira. She's absolutely amazing. She has been a best-selling author. She went from literally like nobody to $19,000 or followers, sorry, on Instagram in under a year. She has paid off $60,000 in debt. She had invested, you guys, $100,000 in coaches and mentors before ever seeing any kind of ROI, which is nuts. And dare I say, in this industry, unfortunately, like it's not uncommon, which is so crazy that a lot of coaches and mentors don't prioritize how can I get my client these kinds of results, right? So for her, she had a similar kind of path as me, where she had invested in a highly strategic mentor that was also practicing very manipulative practices, etc. And then she went hyper spiritual route and had invested like $30,000 in a mentor that continued to tell her to heal and heal and heal and heal her money blocks and all this other shit, which they can literally be gone in an instant. Like, to those of you that are like energetically savvy or see energy, like, you know that it's all and nothing at the same time, and at any point in time it could literally inflate or disappear, kind of like money, right? When you start to see it that way, it doesn't become super real or palpable. And the only thing that makes it palpable is our belief in this block or whatever that exists. Oh my God, I have money blocks, which is why I can't make sales. And that's what has happened to her. Like, she paid $30,000 to have a mentor tell her that she had money blocks. And I'm like, dude, bro, like, what the fuck? Sorry, okay. You guys can tell, like, some of my sarcastic, perhaps, like, what is going on with this industry type of thing, right? And this is exactly why I've created this program, because like I've gone through the same shit, you know, and it's crazy. It's a lot of it is literally just misunderstanding and the inability of coaches and mentors to meet people where they are. So what I did with Saira in order to create that, we leveraged everything that she had. She has been told by other mentors too that she couldn't sell to her community. Like, check this out, you guys. So she is a Muslim woman who has come from a very oppressed background, and she has created a book that went from best-selling status in a week of her launching it. Because how powerful her story is, and because she was looking for like an inspirational Muslim woman, she couldn't find that woman, so she became that woman, which is freaking amazing. And then she was told she had money blocks and couldn't sell. She already had like a raving audience around her, and originally by her past mentors, she was told, for because of how it's campaigned, how it's marketed, Zishan, and because a lot of this kind of mentorship really prize on people's emotional weaknesses that are not grounded. Okay, they really pry on individuals who want to be divine and amazing, like special type snowflakes without, with entitlement. And also, they really pry on individuals who are deeply wounded. And they advertise exactly this kind of thing that I'm talking about of like, poof, sales out of nowhere. Oh my God. They advertise that in their marketing as putting it on energy only. It also really, 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 really affects people on their desires for a get-rich-quick scheme. So that's how people fall for it. But my client did not necessarily look at it that way because I don't view any single mentorship that I've ever invested in, whether or not it gave me an ROI at that point in time, as wasted time. Because it is my belief that I have learned so much in order to now to be able to combine these schools of thought and to be able to combine everything that I've learned and everything that I've reversed engineered in order to put it into a program that meets an individual where they're at and combines their mental, emotional, energetic, and their implementation aspect in who they are as a person. So I don't see it as necessarily like somebody falling for it, because people are at different paths and different points in their life. And at that point in time, that is what they feel is going to serve them the best. And that's just a space that they're in. They haven't matured as a wholesome person. They haven't been grounded in their energetic, mental, and action-based maturity, if that makes sense. I hope that answers your question. I always felt strange about people trying to convince others that they have money blocks. Never sat with me right. Yeah, like we are freaking divine beings. And this is the other imagery that I have received. It's like my mom used to tell me when I was young to change the channel. If I'm like on and on and on and looping about something and crying about something, she literally would just tell me to change the channel. She literally, hey, just kind of like you're watching TV and you change the channel. So it's literally like it can be that simple, and the only reason why people hold on to it and create these stories is because their identity is so like based around that if they let that go, like who are they going to become? Who are they going to become outside of their depression? Who are they going to become outside of their PTSD? Who are they going to become outside of the story of trauma that they choose to perpetuate because they feel it gives them this sense of safety, right? When in fact, like blocks or any kind of healing could occur spontaneously. And in my program, I don't necessarily focus a lot on healing people. I focus a lot on moving forward because for me personally, I was deeply wounded, traumatized, smoking cigarettes every single day for about a week for breakfast type of deal. Was fighting with my man at that point in time. And I got myself out of it within 3 weeks, and now I consistently make a 5-figure income. Am I still healing? Do I still have shit to go through? Yeah, because you're human, and you're constantly going to have challenges that present themselves, and you could choose at any given point in time to literally change the channel. I like to hit the ignore button. Yeah, exactly. So with my client Cider, that's exactly what happened too. Like, as soon as she stopped giving power to other mentors, she cleared 3 weeks of trauma on her own from her body. She did that on her own. Like, you don't need you don't need that. Like, you literally could just change the channel and tune in to another choice that's more coherent, that has the energy of what it is that you want, if that makes sense. Zishan, did that answer your question? And Rebecca, did that answer yours? If anybody has questions, feel free to pile them on. I love answering questions and talking to you guys and interacting about, your experiences with the industry, etc. If not, I'm going to keep hammering away. I still have 1.5 story left to tell you about Cider and then about my other client and the sales prowess. Feel free to drop in questions as they come up. I'm going to keep talking to you guys about what happened with Saida and her $2,500 sale a few days ago. And it happened while she was cleaning her house. But what has had to happen up until that, right? Because energy compounds, and so does your actions, and so does your daily consistent things that you do in your business. It all compounds. It all builds upon each other. meaning like you cleaning your house and you taking a shower and you doing yoga and then you putting a post up and then you doing something else. It all compounds and it all, yes, thanks, perfect. Um, and what happens in the state of crescendo, usually, um, the reason why we give so much more credit and this kind of miracle magic type deal to these quote unquote miraculous manifestations. Perfect. Awesome. I'm glad. I'm glad to have you here. The reason why, because it's like is because of this polarity that exists and because it's great marketing and because people really want to get rich quick. And people don't want to see like what it has taken behind the scenes. So for Saida, what did we do? We undid a lot of this like prior mentorship stuff. We have come to a state of forgiveness about it and have come to a state of taking personal responsibility, of facing it all and like, okay, well, I chose that at that point in time. I'm sure it served me somehow, some way, because I choose to believe that it has served me no matter what, whether or not I made a financial ROI at that point in time. Then what we did is we leveraged everything that she had in her audience. Like she was told that she couldn't sell to Muslim women because Muslim women are oppressed and broke. What the hell kind of bullshit is that? Right? Like that like totally ticked me off whenever I heard that, but hey, whatever. And I was just like, no, these are the people in your audience right now. And the quickest way to create a business and the quickest way to create an aligned business is by working with your natural magnetism, your natural sales prowess, as I had stated, and highlighting that. So for her, she is very fiery like me. She's also an Aries. So she's very stubborn and persistent, in case you couldn't tell. $100,000 and no ROI, and she keeps going. That's some persistence right there, right? And also, like, her natural sales prowess, as we discovered, is actually somebody who speaks very directly and somebody who's like straight and to the point and very sharp. Almost to some people, it might be bitchy, but that's the way that she sells naturally. As soon as she stepped into that kind of natural sales prowess energy that I have figured out for her and leveraged everything that she has around her already, I helped her create custom pitches to the people that are in her audience right now. I helped her create, wording for it, but more than anything, I helped her bring out that natural sales prowess of who she was. Because you see, like, she takes very quick actions. The way she signed up with me was I messaged her and I think we got on call and then she paid the same day. Like, she's a very quick action taker. And that's why she gets these kinds of amazing results, right? But for her natural sales prowess is somebody who speaks directly. And she had a lot of very like wounded type Muslim women coming into her inbox asking her for free coaching. So what we did, I was like, you're not actually one to be a charity case. You're a badass businesswoman who's paid off like $60,000 in debt. You're somebody who, she had dinner with her idol of, who had like 100,000 Instagram followers and somebody who's very big in the Muslim women's community. She had dinner with this person, Najwa Zabian. To those of you that are familiar, I figured I'd name drop. And so I'm like, you are this like amazing go-getter person, yet whenever you speak to your prospects and clients and in your marketing, it is always just like, oh, poor you, I'm sorry. So what has actually happened in order for her to create that kind of cash is coming into the natural way that she has attracted the audience in the first place. And that is what I call the natural sales prowess. Just like for my client who went camping, I'm like, you are this outdoorsy, adventurous chick. You need to highlight more of that. And that is how she was able to also attract those clients with more ease. And this is something a lot of people not only have a hard time seeing, but more than anything, a lot of time coming into and stepping into. Because a lot of people are like not okay with actually being themselves. It's like weird, right? Which is why we have mentors. So a lot of the things that we also did, we really had to extrapolate a lot of her programs to give her more confidence. We had to get her logical brain on board because the thing is, if there's any aspect of you, I call them like getting all of your ducks in a row. Your mental, your logical, your spiritual, your energetic, your physical, your financial, your everything. Whenever you get all of these ducks in a row is whenever these magical manifestations happen. And no, I don't mean perfection, but I mean every single ducks of these align with that person who can get $2,500 full pays. Is this making sense? To those of you that are watching, is this making sense? If not, I'm going to tell you the last and final story, and they all have essentially the same kind of theme in common. I'm seeing hearts. Great, amazing, awesome. So the last story is my client who is a loan officer. She has been in real estate industry, and when she first came to me, she was amidst moving the umbrella company. So she has her own business, and she just got here. Hi, Tori, welcome. I'm talking about these magical manifestations and sales of out of nowhere, and what had to happen for people to get here. So with my client, who's the loan officer, what has happened with her is she was switching companies, umbrella companies, the actual big lender. For people who love to create custom solution for individuals' need, do they need to create something like signature offer, run a tribe, Facebook group necessary? That depends on your sales prowess. I have a client who does not want to create an offer and has big resistance to it. And whenever there's resistance, we need to find something else. It really depends on how you naturally magnetize people, right? It really depends on how you naturally are in front of people. Like for me, I have created interest and prospects for one of my other businesses because I just got a business expansion I'll tell you guys about, on chairlifts, snowboarding, because that's my natural sales prowess, because that's what I do. I snowboard. The other thing too, one of my favorite ways to talk with my audience and market is live streams, because like I love talking to you guys and I love interacting. So as far as run a tribe or Facebook group, if you are working and if you like working in group settings, yeah, absolutely. For me personally, like I like to work with people one-on-one. So I prefer to do one-on-one for highly transformational work. That's for me personally. But yet again, it depends on what is your sales prowess, which is something like I can help you find. And that's what I keep saying. What is your sales prowess? How do you naturally sell? Reverse engineering, there's a lot that goes into it. And at the same time, I will say this, Zishan, when you create an offer, the reason why I stand behind it is because while we can work on the aspects of your being that's emotional, energetic, and that gets you going in this state of confidence, woohoo, I'm the best, whenever you create an offer, it gives you something to talk about. It allows you to talk to individuals that need something to hold on to, right? For me personally, whenever I get on sales calls, like people would not sign up if I was to not walk them through some sort of a process. If I'm like, yeah, we're just going to work on your energy and being, no, like people would never sign up on sales calls. So for me personally, and in my work, I definitely, I work through that, making offers in public. Yeah, and of course it is. And the reason also being is because you don't know what it is that you do best. Okay, and this is also something with offer creation. A lot of people, the way they create offers with their clients are like, oh, how long is it? Okay, how much is it going to be? How many Zoom calls? Cool, yay, great, woohoo. There's not a very deep dive into you in your specific prowess. There's not a deep dive into how your prowess interacts with another person and how another person is going to move through it in general. So for me personally, I look at offer creation as planting the seed, and then the rest of becoming and being and marketing, because it gives you something to talk about. Then it sprouts up like a bamboo. That's the way that my process works. It's pretty uncanny. That's exactly what we did with Saira. We definitely had to hash out the offer, and the reason for her is because her logical mind is brilliant and very active. And she needed that to ground into, because the spiritual coaches of energetic becoming haven't worked for her and with her on this specific aspect of developing a business, right? It's almost like if you're a massage therapist, you need to have some sort of development of like, okay, well, this is a deep tissue massage and it's going to address your structural alignment It's going to address your joints. It's going to address your old injuries and rehab them. This massage, however, is a Swedish massage. It's more for circulation and stress and more to calm you down, right? It allows the client to like grab onto something, but when you start working with them, your hands are just going to naturally be guided to wherever their pain points are. You're going to adjust pressure as necessary. You're going to adjust oil as necessary. It's the same thing in kind of transformational work. So yes, the framework is a skeleton. And that, quite frankly, for me in my process is something that I start off right away. However, here's where most coaches go wrong is they just, oh yeah, well, what do you think the client needs? And they don't go deep enough into your specific things that you are confident in, that you have already perhaps done for people. They don't go deep enough with you, right? And this is the part that's a lot of times missing, and that's why a lot of people have resistance to it, because like, process, I have to create a process. What the fuck? Like, I just want to work with an individual one-on-one. Right? But if you don't know that individual one-on-one, it's almost like it's building a relationship, and you creating an offer is like you, or speaking to a female anyway, is like you putting on your makeup and taking a shower before you go and meet somebody for dinner and maybe hook up with them later on that night, right? You have to have some sort of bed made, and you have to have some sort of an impression. I do feel that it does need to be there. Otherwise, like, and I think you're the one that actually posted it. Otherwise, you are just paying for art rather than service. And I hope that makes sense. And with this next client, she was highly logical. For her, like, it really needed to make sense. She was a workaholic, and she got a $4,000 sale while at the spa. So what has happened with her, yet again, with her was a lot of becoming, but for her, her logical brain had to get on board. So we did have to create a lot of processized and reverse engineered evidence of how was she being and who was she being before she created that sale. Did I necessarily tell her to go to the spa? No. What did I tell her instead? To take a chill pill, but to completely turn off from her business. Literally just a minute of that for her, disconnection, is what created that. And that's how I see it energetically. I hope you guys understand the notions behind it. It's not just like this magical occurrence. There's a lot of thought patterns that need to be adjusted. There are a lot of consistent things that need to get done first. There's a lot of leverage, and there are a lot of brass tacks type stuff that people don't want to do. It's kind of like this. These magical manifestations and magical sales are literally like the X Games or the Olympics. So, for instance, whenever you see a snowboarder fly through the air and they're like, woohoo, I'm amazing, and then you see them on TV and then you're like, oh my God, you're so lucky you get to do that, and wow, you're so talented. That didn't just happen overnight. And neither do these kind of manifestations, right? For me, before I had the $12,000 sale, there are a lot of mental, emotional, discipline muscles that I had to flex. Have I received clients from strategic approaches? Yeah, absolutely. And have I received clients from these kinds of magical manifestations? Yeah, absolutely. Because the whole notion, you guys, it all works together. And this is why I do what I do in my programs. It's called Coalesce. The reason why I created it is because I was personally tired of seeing the polarity and seeing people missing very big aspects, seeing people missing the intimacy aspect, seeing people missing going deep enough into somebody's work, seeing people missing, the becoming aspect, and seeing people missing the actual consistency, brass tacks approach, and all of this has to come together. These magical manifestations, and you can study. If you don't believe me, and if you don't believe any of the above case scenarios that I have described to you, you can study six-figure entrepreneurs who have created these magical manifestations, and you will see that they too have a system. They're not just functioning off of chaos, whatever. They do have some sort of a consistent daily habit, whether it be a spiritual or mindset habit. They do have a consistent exercise routine. They do have a consistent lead generation thing that they do daily, and it all snowballs. Whenever these kinds of quantum leaps happen, is a crescendo in an energy of an uncomfortable action that really asks you to yet again look in and trust yourself and be willing to bet anything and everything, whatever, on yourself to make it happen, and to love yourself enough to give yourself the things that you want right now. These kinds of results happen the best for individuals who are persistent. These kinds of results happen the best for individuals who are willing to risk. These kinds of results also happen the best for individuals who perhaps already have something to leverage. While it's not impossible, Sarah, so true. Hi, Sarah. I don't think I know you. Nice to meet you. While it's not impossible to manifest these kinds of things out of nowhere, it's there are definitely things that need to happen, for you to be able to sit in front of somebody and ask them for a 5-figure fee for your package, or a 4-figure, whatever it is that you're charging. So you guys, having said that, I have to get going pretty soon, but I'm going to hang out if anybody has any questions about anything that I've talked about. And how do you get there? I will tell you how you get there. You book a call with me, and it's going to be the best thing you'll do for your business. Let me pop in the thing real quick. And the reason why you guys are not getting that right now, here, I've dropped in my link. It doesn't cost you anything to speak with me if these are the kinds of things that you want in your business. So the reason why you're not getting there right now is because, yet again, no one has gotten deep enough with you specifically to figure out what is your natural sales prowess. No one has gotten deep enough specifically with you on your consistency and accountability on the daily things that you do in your business, because it does need to be there, whether it be consistency of emotion, whether it be consistency of cleaning your house and taking a shower every morning. Like, consistency needs to be there. And a lot of entrepreneurs, especially spiritual and creative ones, are very afraid of the C word. Oh my God. Because, oh my gosh, I'm creative and I go by whenever the energy inspires me, and I do too. But consistency in business does not necessarily mean I have to post 5 times a day today. No, fuck that. No. And this is why you guys are not getting these kinds of random manifestations, is because nobody has ever showed you how to be more of you and how to actually infuse that into your marketing strategy and give you the custom approach that you deserve. And that's why you're also not seeing the results that you want to see, is because you're yet again doing another system and you're bored with it, whether it be a spiritual system, whether it be a spiritual practice, whether it be a strategy. Everything works and nothing works. And the only thing that's going to work for you is something that's custom tailored for you, for your specific energy, for your specific personality. And that's something that's very difficult to do on your own. So that is the biggest notion of my work. This might seem random, but I'm wondering, how do you feel about memory flipping? I don't know what memory flipping is. Rebecca, can you elaborate on what memory flipping is? The only thing I'm thinking is like rescripting, perhaps, trauma rescripting. Yet again, if it's another modality, everything works and nothing works. But the biggest thing in your business, especially a service-based business that focuses a lot on these kinds of deep transformations with people, that focus a lot on a holistic transformation in people, is based on you investing in the same, right? The other notion of what creates these amazing results for individuals is the ability and the willingness to go first always, meaning to take the scary action first always, to be in integrity and in alignment with what they ask their clients to do. Because I've had like prospects come to my inbox and be like, I want to make $10,000, but they don't even want to invest like $1,000, and I'm like, is this fully in alignment or in integrity with what you want your clients to do? And yet you're not willing to do that yourself, right? So the other notion of what creates this results for people is walking your talk and doing the work and taking the kind of actions that you expect your clients to do as well. Is going first, is taking the uncomfortable, scary actions. I know you guys hear it time and time again, but it is truly a holistic thing. It's not just, this is how you do it because it's yet another system, and no manifestations are alike. Can I teach you how to unlock this energy for you? Absolutely. Yeah. And what it requires an intimate container for you and I in order for me to get to know you and get to know your work, to position you in marketing in a way that you come up and you're like, hey, what's up? I'm the shit. And know what you're talking about, in addition to getting your thoughts, your emotions, your energy on board, and clearing up anything that is in the way is what creates this kind of duck in a row type leap. I thought it was a thing, maybe scripting before you said everything and nothing. Yeah, like I said, everything works and nothing works. And yet again, the reason why a lot of the things have not worked for you yet, you're so welcome. The reason why a lot of things have not worked with you yet is because, well, you haven't had the right mentorship. Let's be real. But also, you haven't been addressed as a unique, wholesome individual. You've just been handed a system instead of a custom approach. You've just been handed yet another system that has worked for another person's energy, but it's not going to work for your personality. So I don't necessarily teach you how to market, but I give you templates that you can use if you want, if writing is your thing. I don't necessarily teach you how to sell, but I do teach you how to be more of yourself and what you feel you expect on sales calls, of what do you feel you deserve on sales calls, and how do you feel like you get to handle people's objections, because it comes down to you and your deservingness. I'm not going to make you pushy into a pushy salesperson because it's never going to work for you. I'm not going to teach you to like just go to the spa and relax. But if that's what I see and feel you need, and that's your natural sales prowess, is whenever you are, yeah, exactly, is whenever you are more relaxed and you desperately, desperately, desperately need a disconnection from your business, then I will definitely tell you to do so. I told one of my clients to go have sex as homework, so this approach is very coalesced, you guys. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's a very custom-tailored approach. It's a very loving approach. It's a very in-depth approach that approaches all of you. Because one of my main gifts is I'm split-brained. Like, I'm just as good at math as I am in art. I'm just as creative as I am scientific and logical. Every kind of test that I've ever taken in my personality, I have always tested right down the middle. And this is the gift that essentially I bring, is the translation between the energetic world and the logical world, and back and forth again, and how to help you take this crazy channeled information and put it into action, or vice versa. So this is something that I do that I don't see a lot of coaches do. I don't see a lot of mentors take this kind of approach that's very custom. And this is why, after spending $100,000, nothing worked for Cider up until this, is because nobody has actually seen her as an individual and allow her to leverage her everything, which is her energy, her thought, her brilliance, her audience, her marketing, her positioning, and her sales prowess, which is the biggest thing I help you find. So it's a super unique approach, you guys. And if you want to create your first 5 figures in business, then go ahead and book that call. It's going to be the best thing you'll ever do for your business. And it's going to be the best thing you'll do this year. So I'm probably going to be the last mentor you'll ever need, because yet again, a lot of coaches teach you how to sell and market, but not your way. And a lot of coaches teach other coaches how to do the same, but not how to deliver results to your clients. And that's where a lot of the coaching industry goes wrong, and why a lot of you are feeling so much resentment towards it. And I invested so much in this other person. Okay, so what? You get to change that. You get to change that because you deserve better. So I look forward to speaking with you. Feel free to message me if you have any questions about anything I said. I'm always up for chatting and meeting new people. If you have not joined my group yet, go ahead and do so. It's the Prolific Playground. Having said that, I hope you all have a wonderful day. And yeah, go ahead and PM me if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.